Insecurity is something that is really hard to deal with, especially after divorce. And so tonight on Astrology After Dark, I'm going to show you how you can, what areas, I should say, what areas in your natal chart and what placements you should be focused on when you are feeling insecure and you are wanting to heal that insecurity, become more emotionally balanced so that you can become more secure within yourself. Okay. So grab you a pen and a piece of paper or a notebook, and let's jump into it. And so, if you are new to me, to the channel, to any of my content in social media land, my name is kkatrice. I am the Natal Chart Navigator, and I'm a divorce recovery strategist. And so, I help divorced women to emotionally balance and reinvent themselves based on their astrological natal charts using my natal healing method. Okay. And so, um, if you um, have not gotten your 3 step framework, which is the first 3 steps of the natal healing method, okay, it's absolutely free. Want to go to my link tree in the description and grab your copy. I'll put it on the screen as well, okay? So HTTPS. Um, I should have did this beforehand, but anyway, okay. So let's go ahead. Let's jump into it. Okay, that's that. All right. So there it is on the screen. Okay, let's jump into it because I don't want to keep you long. Okay, so we're talking about insecurity, right? And so when you first get divorced, okay, you definitely you're at a place in your life where you are feeling insecure because you've literally just lost your whole world has changed. Okay. You're no longer married. You're no longer in the same household. You're no longer raising your children together. Finances have to be separated. Assets have to be, separated, dispersed. And it could, after going through all of that, depending on the nature of your divorce, it could have been really nasty, really drawn out. And so, you definitely come out of divorce feeling insecure. Okay. And at no matter how lengthy your divorce was, no matter whether it was something that's clear, it was kind of an easy divorce or a really difficult divorce. Um, no one comes out of divorce not feeling a little insecure because you couldn't make your marriage work, because you feel like a failure because you had to get a divorce, right? And the circumstances surrounding what led up to the divorce really doesn't, I won't say it doesn't matter, but at the end of the day, the marriage failed. And so that can leave you feeling really, really insecure. Okay. Not only are you feeling insecure because you have lost, that life is over, your marriage failed, or what looks like an apparent fail, but you now you have to figure out how to move forward. And so you're insecure about dating, you're insecure about getting back out. If you were like a stay-at-home mom, you're insecure about getting back out there, in the dating scene, working. If you weren't working and now you have to go back into the workforce, you could be insecure about that. And so there's a multitude of things. You could be insecure about your appearance. Okay. You may have feel like you have let yourself go. And so there's a multitude of things that you can be insecure about after divorce. Okay. And so when you look in your natal chart, there's three things that you want to look at when you are wanting to heal that insecurity and move forward and become more secure within yourself, become more emotionally balanced within yourself. Okay. So you want to first look at the first house. Okay. And I did a TikTok on this. So if you're on TikTok, I kind of break it down on TikTok where also I'm talking about this. But I wanted to expand more on it and actually show you in the chart what it's like. Okay. So you want to look at your first house because first house is the house of self, and it's also the house, the area of life where you put your outward personality. Okay, it's the energy that you put out into the world when people first meet you. Okay, um, and then you have Chiron. Okay, you have your Chiron placement and house. Okay, Chiron is the wounded healer. It is the wound that we were born with. Okay. And again, if you are following me on TikTok, I have a whole Chiron series that talks about Chiron in the signs and also the corresponding houses. And so you can go check that out as well. And then eighth house represents fears, emotional trauma, um, emotional trauma, and death and rebirth. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is pull up. I am gonna pull up my. I'm gonna share my screen because I want you to look at a chart. I'm gonna show you a chart. Let me see here. Okay. So hold on. Let me share my screen. I'm gonna show you a chart. Okay. All right. Let me make sure you can see the chart. It's not showing yet. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I just pulled this chart, just a chart of the day. Okay, but that really doesn't matter because I'm gonna show you. We're gonna talk about on the first house, your Chiron placement, and the eighth house. Okay, now in this particular chart, okay, it happens to be in the eighth house. Okay, which makes the wound a little deeper. And it's also conjunct the south node. So we'll go there. But first off, let's talk about your first house. So the first house it represents you, the chart holder. Okay. And so in this chart here, it is a Virgo rising. So the energy that you would project out when people first meet you is that of a Virgo. Okay. Virgo energy can be a little picky. It can be, but it is detail oriented. It is very analytical. And so, people feel that first. Okay. Now, I'm a Virgo sun and Venus. And for me, it took it was sometime maybe beginning of this year, beginning of 2023, when I finally fully accepted my divorce. I fully accepted that it was completely done. Okay. I was okay. Because for me, it wasn't that I wanted to, still be with him or missing him. It was getting over the fact that I felt like I was a failure. Okay. And so it took over, and as a Virgo, okay, Virgo energy is very, it's prides itself on perfection. Even though we all know perfection is not real, there's no real perfection. But in the Virgo's mind, perfection is perfection. Like you do it right or you don't do it at all. Okay. And so it took me a minute to really get over the fact that my marriage failed. Okay. And even though I swear I did everything that I could think of possibly under the sun to um to save my marriage, to make it work, I, I had to come to the realization that there's two people within a marriage and not just yourself. And so if you're, both people have to be putting in that full effort. And if both people aren't putting in the full effort, I don't care how much one person does, it's just not going to work. Okay. And so the inevitable happened, right? And so for me, I had to tap into my my first house, and I had to go into um, every day. I would get up and go in the bathroom and look in the mirror, and I would tell myself, "I'm beautiful." Now I am a Leo rising, but we're going off of this chart. This is a Virgo rising, and so one of the things that I used was affirmations. Okay, now as a Virgo, you may do something else. Okay, tap into, but you really need to tap into your energy. So, um, as a Virgo, you probably may, as a Virgo rising, I should say, you probably will go out and start helping people because Virgo is an energy of service, right? And so for you, it may be for you to not be insecure and feel like you're a failure or feel like um, you may go out and you may, volunteer or start working with other people or doing something where you can be of service to people. Okay. And that may help you to get over insecurities. Now, affirmations are an amazing way for you to help you to start shifting how you see yourself. Okay. So you want to find some affirmations that resonate with you and, start saying those. Like for me, I would tell myself every day, I'm beautiful. You're so smart. I'm so proud of you for choosing you, over things and people that, did not, um, they weren't choosing you, you know. And I would tell myself those things over and over and over again to help me to start remembering that, you know, you're not perfect, but you did do everything you could and it just didn't work. And that's okay, right? Now, the next placement you want to look at is your Chiron placement. And this is a placement that I personally feel like once I started tapping into my Chiron placement, it's like my chart unlocked. Okay. Now my personal Chiron placement is in my 10th house, in the sign of Taurus. And so I really started working with that placement to overcome my fear was a deep fear of rejection, a deep seated wound of rejection. And, I figured out where that came from and I really started working on that, on that rejection, telling myself that I am enough. I've always been enough. Um, and people don't reject me. Nobody can reject me but me. I am the only person that can reject me, and I choose not to. Things like that, and just reminding myself that um, rejection is just a construct. Okay, it's all in what I perceive. Nobody is rejecting me because nobody has the power to reject me, right? And so, depending upon because that rejection, before I go there, the wound in my 10th house is the house of career, right? And so when I was going through and healing myself, I because of my that deep seated fear of people rejecting me, um, you know, it was kind of blocking me from growing my business. It was blocking me because I was building my insurance agency at the time, and it was kind of blocking me from growing it to the level that I was wanting to grow it to, right? And so I started to heal. And once I started to really work on that wound and start healing it, I started to see a difference within my insurance business, right? And so your Chiron placement, once you start working on that, it's like it unlocks your chart, and it opens up your chart, and it gives you access to really start tapping into the other parts of your chart, right? Um, Learning your Chiron placement and working on your Chiron placement along with your eighth house, your 12th house, and your fourth house, that is how you get yourself emotionally balanced using the natal healing method. Okay. And so um, you're working with your Chiron placement, and that's helping you to become more confident, to show up more powerfully in the world. Okay. Then you also want to look at the energy that's on your eighth house. Eighth house is the house of fears and trauma and death, and it's other people's money. And especially if during your divorce, there was like issues, like you guys are a big part of your divorce had to do with money. Okay. Eighth house is definitely the house that you want to go to really start healing and getting over any fears that you may have about moving forward in life. Okay. So in this chart, you have Aries on the eighth house. Okay. And so Aries energy is an energy that it's an energy where you are it's very quick moving energy. It's fire energy. Um, it it falls in love, quick, and just as quick as it falls in love, it can fall out as well. Um, but it's also an energy of persistence. One thing about fire energy, especially Aries energy, is come hella high water, whatever it sets its sights on, it's going to achieve it. Okay. It can be a little impulsive. Okay. And so you want to kind of not, I won't say slow down, but you want to kind of things a little think things through a little more before taking action because of that impulsivity. But you want to use eighth house. You want to use this energy to really sit down and focusing on your fears. Now, music is a good um, music that resonates with you can really tap into the energy of your eighth, that can tap into the energy of your eighth house, um, because it can help you to um, really release some things. Music is really releasing. As an Aries eighth house, you like rap music. Rap music might be the thing that can help you, you know, and it just really depends. Everybody's different. You may like rap music and you or hip hop. I call it rap music, but hip hop rap is the same to me, in a sense. But that may be the music that helps you to release your anger. Okay. Because insecurity can also cause anger because you're angry that, you know, you feel blocked. You're angry that you feel that you can't move forward. Or you feel like every time you move forward, you get pushed back, right? And so you're angry that, you just want to go through the five stages of divorce. And you don't want to be bouncing all over the place, but you're bouncing all over the place, right? And so tapping into the eighth house, and if you have any planets, like in this chart here, we have Jupiter here. Well, it's not technically in the eighth house. It's in the sign of Taurus. It just looks like it's in the eighth house, but it's really in the sign of Taurus. And but if it were here, in Aries, in the eighth house, um, it can bring some abundance to your healing. you may be getting in the divorce. You may have gotten a lump sum, a really, good when it came to the division of your assets. Okay, you got a good amount from that division, and so you could use that to, maybe get a therapist, or to help you do whatever, however you want to. But it also can bring abundance when it comes to like your healing as well. Okay. Um, Now, this is the North Node, and the North Node is pretty much telling us what we need to focus on. The transiting North Node, not your well, this isn't a transiting North Node, is it? No, it's not. Oh, this is a new yeah. Where's the okay? This is a new system. I just really started back using this. So this is the actual placements, okay? But the transit, because I don't have the transit showing, but the transiting North Node is here as well. And the transiting North Node is asking us to focus on this area of life that we want to focus on. I mean, where the North Node is, because that's going to help us to get to the next phase of life. Okay. And to release South Node, and not be so focused on what's going on in the South Node, be more focused on the North Node. So this person's chart, they would be focused on healing for the next 18 months, until 2025, when it switches into Pisces and Virgo. And so, you want to focus on the healing, the focus on healing, focus on persevering. Perseverance is going to be key for this actual chart. That's going to be one of the things that's going to really help them to get over their insecurity, is to focus on persevering through, to focus on what it is that they want to see within their life, plan their life out, design their life out, and then really start moving in that direction. Um, the positive affirmations, and really tapping into who they are, is really going to help this, in this example here, help them to overcome that, their insecurities. Okay. Now, the reason I love the eighth house so much, okay, is because the eighth house is where all of your fears and your traumas, your insecurities, it's where all of that deep emotional stuff is located, right? And so when you are, because divorce is a death, it's a form of death. Eighth house is death. Okay. And so you tap into that energy to help you to grieve, to help you to move through the five stages of divorce, so that you can get to the other side. You tap into your first house so that you can um, figure out who you are now, not who you was during the marriage, but who you are now, and who you are choosing to be, who you are choosing to become. Okay. And then your Chiron placement, you are tapping into that placement to start to really start healing yourself, to unlock your chart. Because I'm telling you, once you really start healing that Chiron placement and working with that Chiron placement, your chart opens up, and that's when you can really, really start tapping into the eighth house, the 12th house, and the fourth house, the healing houses, to really start to get yourself emotionally in tune. Because when you are emotionally balanced, I mean, because once you become emotionally balanced within yourself, you can start making decisions about the future, about your next. Okay. I shouldn't even say your future, because there's no future, there's just now. Okay. And so you want to start making decisions about your next with clarity. And so you can't do that from a place of your emotions all over the place and you not knowing where it is you want to go, right? Um, and so house, the Chiron placement, and the eighth. In this example that I showed you guys tonight, Chiron was in the eighth house, but in your chart it may not be. So when you pull your chart for the astro.com, and when you pull your chart, then you'll see where your Chiron placement is, and you start working on that there to unlock your chart to start your healing. Okay. Um, all right. And so that's all I have for tonight. So thank you for joining me on another episode of Astrology After Dark. And I so appreciate you joining me tonight. And if you are watching this on the replay, I totally, totally appreciate you watching it on the replay. Okay. Now, I invite you to actively engage with tonight's conversation because here at Understanding You University, we dive deep. Okay. We go deep into aligning with your true nature. Okay. So that you can get emotionally balanced and really start the process of reinventing yourself um, after, post divorce life. Okay. Now, if you found this video useful, helpful, or insightful, please do give it a thumbs up and share it out with another woman who is going through trying to rebuild herself after divorce so that she can find value as well. Okay. Now, if you would like to work with me, all of my information it is in the description box. Also, my link tree here on the screen is where you can go to book your 20-minute energy audit with me where I go over your sun, moon, rising, and chart ruler and show you how to start using those energies to get emotionally balanced and reinvent yourself based on the method, on the healing method. With that, it does come with an ebook. You get a copy of the ebook if you haven't already. And then if you would like to book a full reading with me, it is a recorded reading. Okay, it's not live; it's recorded. But you do get a 30-minute Q&A session after you've reviewed your reading. You get a 30-minute Q&A session. You get an interpretation of your life path PDF, and then you also get a copy of the ebook. Okay, so you can go to my link tree to book either one of those. Okay. Now remember, possibilities are endless. If you can see it in your mind, then you can definitely hold it in your hand. And that should make you smile because you are the one that creates your own reality.